Hi! Welcome to Asher's Day. Today we're at the beach and we're doing yoga at the beach. I have the book Yoga Storytime. You're going to learn some new yoga poses today. Today you'll learn some new yoga poses with this book, Yoga Storytime. But first, I want to ask you all to please subscribe to Asher's Day if you're not already a subscriber, and make sure you click that bell so that you'll receive notifications of all of our new videos. We're going to learn to breathe, stretch, and be calm. Today's book is called Yoga Storytime. Can you do many things at once? For example, can you play with a toy truck on the table while having breakfast? Can you walk and talk while kicking a ball at the same time? Can you sing while playing with soap bubbles in the bathtub? Sure! It's not that hard, is it? Well, many years ago in India, some men realized that doing many things at one time was fairly easy, and that they could do more every day. But they wondered what would happen if they only did one thing. The simplest. The most natural one. One thing only and nothing more. Do you have any idea what this thing was? They decided that the simplest thing they could do was breathe. You're right. Breathing and walking is easy. Breathing and playing even more so. And breathing and sleeping is a snap. The difficult thing was just breathing and being aware of just that and not getting distracted. Try it yourself. You breathe, don't you? The men sat on the floor, closed their eyes so they couldn't see anything, and tried to just breathe while thinking about their breathing. It made them feel good. You are one person. If you're with a friend, you're two people. With dad, mom, and your friend, that makes 4 people. But if the 4 of you sit really still, breathe quietly, and think about your breathing, you will feel like the 4 of you are a single person sharing only one breath. For the men I mentioned, this discovery was very interesting. They sat and breathed, and they felt as one together and one with everything. These men definitely agreed that 1 was a good number, but also that doing only one thing is much more difficult than doing many things at once. Sit down on the floor for a little while like they did. Close your eyes. Are you thinking about your breathing? Count your breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4. Count at least to 10, and then start over again. 10 more. These men from India came to realize, as you may also realize, that doing nothing other than breathing is not easy. Do you want to move your feet? Does your nose itch? Is your back stiff? Are noises bothering you? Do you want to eat something? Do you feel like talking or screaming? Do you want to play or run? They realized that in order to do something like this, they needed to train. What did they need to train? They needed to train their bodies so they could stand still without complaining. And they needed to train their thoughts, since those are even busier than their bodies. They realized that thoughts move faster than a monkey bitten by a scorpion. These men loved the world around them. There were many things to learn. They observed the trees, still and tireless, and they imitated them by doing the tree pose. They observed the moon, sometimes growing and other times getting small, and copied it by doing the half-moon pose. They observed cats, who are so agile, and imitated them by doing the cat pose and stretching like they do. They observed lions, so brave, strong, and confident, and they imitated them by doing the lion pose. They observed snakes, stealthy and alert, and they imitated them by doing the cobra pose. They observed tortoises in their shells, and saw that inside they do not feel the cold or heat, and imitated them by doing the tortoise pose. They wanted to see the world upside down. They created many more poses and their backs became stronger and more flexible. This way, they could stay sitting and breathing for hours and hours, and they felt more and more at ease with the world and with themselves. In addition to training the outside of their bodies, they also took care of the inside of their bodies. Have you ever had a stuffy nose? Phew! How difficult it is to breathe. Then they learned how to unstuff it with salt water. They also cleaned their intestines, their eyes, and their stomach. They also discovered things to empty their mind of thoughts. They breathed fast and noisily when exhaling, or very slowly. First one nostril, and then the other. And they held their breath longer than deep sea divers. Sit on the floor and try to empty your mind of thoughts. Hold your left nostril closed, and breathe slowly through your right nostril. Out, then in. Now hold your right nostril closed and breathe slowly through the left one. Out, in. Do it 2 more times. Right, out, in, left, out, in, and again. Now, how long can you hold your breath? The men from India were grateful for this knowledge because it made them feel better, and they sang songs of thanksgiving to the stars, to the wise men, and to the gods. The men from India knew that these discoveries were very valuable and they didn't want them to be lost. So they taught them to their children, who taught them to their children, and they continue to be passed down to each new generation. This is yoga. So many things can be learned from being able to do just one thing, nothing more than breathing. How do you practice yoga? Most yoga poses are simple and inspired by nature. Did you already notice that the poses imitate trees, animals, or celestial bodies? I'll teach you only some poses. You can learn the rest of the poses later on from a teacher. To get started, Set up a safe and open space where you can practice in a familiar environment. A camping mat or other thin mat will help you protect your body when you lie down on the floor and keep you from getting hurt if you fall. You need to have space to stretch and move. Don't be in a hurry. You don't have to do all the poses, just the ones you want to. Repeat them more than once, and between poses always rest a little while and breathe. Are you breathing? Start by blowing. Pretend you're holding a balloon to your lips. Inhale, blow, and inflate your imaginary balloon as much as you can. When you can't inflate it anymore, tie a knot in your balloon. Let it go. And let the air enter your body, all the air you want. Then breathe naturally. Can you inflate 3 more balloons? Now, lie back a minute with your back on the mat, bend your knees, and put your hands on your stomach. Do you notice how your stomach rises when you take in air to breathe? Count each time your stomach rises and each time it falls, up to 5 times. Let's see if you can count 5 more times. How many breaths can you count without getting distracted? Now it's time to see how some poses feel. The poses. Tree pose. Stand on one foot and pretend you are as still as a tree. Focus your gaze on one point and raise your arms as if they were branches. Today you can be a fig tree with your branches open to the sun, and tomorrow you can be a long, slender cypress that lets itself be swayed by the wind. What other tree would you like to be? Do the same thing on your other foot. Half moon pose. The moon is a satellite that revolves around the earth. Did you know that each revolution of the moon around the earth takes about 1 calendar month? The moon has no light. It reflects the light of the sun, and depending on how the sun illuminates it, we see it as a full, waning, new, or crescent. Make a crescent moon with your body. Stand up, stretch your arms over your head with your hands together, and bend very slowly to the left to form a crescent moon. Close your eyes and don't move. Pretend you are the moon in the darkness of the night sky and you light up the room. On what side of your body do you feel more light? Leave the pose, pause a moment, and before bending to the other side, consider which side of your nose you breathe better with. You can already do a waning moon. Cat pose. Get on your hands and knees and pretend you have a tail like a cat. Without moving either your hands or your legs, start arching your back as if you want to make a very high tunnel. Do you notice how your stomach disappears? And now the other way around. The tail and the head go up. The chest goes down. The tunnel is upside down. When you build the tunnel, you release air and meow like a cat. And when you flatten it, you inhale. How many times can you build the tunnel that meows without getting tired? Now think about how cats stretch out by helping themselves with their front paws. Imitate them. Stretch as much as you like. Stretch out. Roaring lion pose. First of all, the lion has to concentrate. Sit back on your heels and lift your chest. From your waist up, turn to the left. Look over your left shoulder and relax. Go back to the center, breathe, and slowly do the same thing on the other side. Look straight ahead again. Think about being a courageous and tranquil lion with a huge heart. Bend forward slightly and press your hands on your thighs. Raise your chest and lift your heart like a lion sitting on top of a rock. Inhale through the nose. Open your mouth, stick out your tongue, and roar like a lion without any fear. Then close your mouth, breathe, and when you have rested, roar again. Cobra pose. Lie face down with your hands alongside your chest, and when you're ready, push yourself up with your hands, without bending your knees, like a stealthy cobra. Stay there until you get tired. Closely watch imaginary prey. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth, making a sound, like a hissing cobra. Then rest on the floor like a sleeping cobra. Tortoise pose. Now sit on the floor with your legs forward and bend your knees so you can bring the soles of your feet together. Bring your arms under your legs and hold your feet with your hands on the outside. Pretend that your back is like the shell of a tortoise. It doesn't matter if it's cold or hot, the tortoise retreats into its shell and rests carefree. Upside down pose. Reverse the direction of your body. Feet up and head down. Imagine feet that have eyes, nose, and ears. Feet that look, smell, and listen to what is around them. Feet that take the place of the head, lively and awake, light and happy. Just breathe. Now if you like, sit on the floor with your legs crossed. Close your eyes and breathe. Just one thing. Just breathe. Nothing more.